Hello. It's been like 2 weeks. Crazy. It's been really busy because of the holiday season. Yeah, so here I am. And today's reading is What is the state of my spirit or soul? And the way I first defined the card was the Hanged Man is about suspension, delay, surrender, sacrifice, giving up the material in pursuit of spiritual knowledge. When the sun dies, you become resurrected again later. The dying gods. And I couldn't quite remember the story exactly, but I think it's like some kind of story of Odin where he gives up his eye and like binds himself to the world tree for like 12 or 13 days in pursuit of knowledge. But I'll look it up later. Baptism. I've heard someone say somewhere that the death, like the actual death, occurs here rather than in a death card. And I thought that was interesting. Also, perspective flip, when everything you knew about the world is turned on its head and you see the world with new eyes. And in a Thoth deck, I think this card is supposed to be something like, I forget the word, but like a monument or something, where it's more like a nod to the previous Aeon of Osiris, and it's actually kind of obsolete now, or like some parts of it are, I think. Like we don't need the idea of sacrifice and like torturing ourselves to gain like spiritual insight, something like that. So to interpret the state of my soul or spirit or whatever is a state of delay, blockages, maybe loading period, or I'm having my perspective challenged and flipped. I'm in a place where new spiritual insights are incoming, but it'll take some time before I see results. I'm experiencing a dying to my old beliefs and self, and going through a baptism where I'll come out changed and renewed. And maybe this is about how I'm like slowly reading, understanding the Thoth, and it's been about like 2 weeks because the holiday season has been like not wanting to work on stuff, so there's like been a delay in my studies. So I'd affirm that the studying of the Thoth is spiritual work and will change me. Okay, so now I looked at Esoteric Meetings, a website. Also I forgot the esoteric correspondences. And it was like Mem, elemental water, and I had to look it up because I haven't done my Anki cards in a second. But it links Gabura to Hod. Anyway, so the website talks about some of the stuff I already mentioned. Also talks about bringing light into darkness in order to redeem it. It talks about redemption and release from guilt and blame as we realize we aren't in debt to God but rather a part of God. It talks about needing to give up something lesser for something more fulfilling emotionally and spiritually. Reverse, it talks about feeling guilty, needless self-martyring, someone whose life is turned upside down, someone who has waited too long and needs the courage to move forward and change, and a non-action perhaps being a good way forward. I feel like my interpretation still applies, and also I think it could be like the way I hide my tarot and stuff like that, and the feeling of restriction I feel around it compared to when I lived on my own and could do readings and talk about it more openly. Like it makes me feel like I have something to hide or feel guilty about. And it's not a big deal because I can do whatever in my room, and like I'm home alone a lot anyway. But the anticipation of like troubles gives me like an uneasy feeling sometimes. So maybe I need some release from that. Otherwise, I think my reading stands. So yeah, that's what I got. Thank you. Bye.